Information. Boom. Updated. There we go. Still says I'm opening 50 loot boxes. Who cares? Thank you, Cookie. I'm glad that it looks better. I didn't know it was that bad. I've been watching on my cell phone and didn't notice a thing. But then again, I've been trying to move and fight at the same time. What's interesting about Cuphead, like I said before, it's a game that's completely hand animated. It's completely hand animated. Every frame is animated by hand, which is it's a nightmare. Just thinking about that, it hurts my soul on the inside. The amount of time that takes is just so crazy. Like, I don't know why anyone would do that to themselves. I've already defeated a few bosses, but I won't do the first one over again. I was thinking about doing the first one over again because it really gets like to the base of the game. One of the things I've been talking about is just the game design of Cuphead in general, and like how like it's really well done, and a lot of people like give it, discredit it for its difficulty, but like the difficulty curve is well paced. It's not just like in your face. It's really well done, it's really well designed, and it's really well timed. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't think a lot of people realize how like good the game is at teaching you how to play it. Like, every boss, of course, is going to have unfair moves or what seem to be unfair moves, but figuring out a boss is half the fun of the game. Like, for instance, I know if I don't get that freaking pink seed, that is just going to wreck my day, like, completely. Because this is like one of those bosses that like all his base moves aren't that bad, but this is where he spawns. Oh, I'm supposed to dodge the seeds. His base moves aren't that bad, but he spawns a lot of minions that can just overwhelm the screen. And if you're not paying attention to him, if you don't pay attention to the minions will overwhelm you. But if you don't pay attention to him, he's obviously just going to attack you. That boomerang reminds me of those helicopter trees we have around here in Oklahoma. I think I was mentioning that earlier, where they just like fall from the tree and then you can spin them. They look really cool. Like, I'm a big fan of them, but well, I don't think this will be the time we beat the boss. Unless I daisy chain a bunch of attacks together. Am I right, guys? This is just an opportunity for me to practice my pun game. You can rutabaga on me all you want, though. Beep. Uh-oh. Another boomerang. Oh, okay. I was worried it was going to be another boomerang. How have I not beaten you yet? Die. Lose. Just give up. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. So that pink one that I did not parry is literally the hardest thing in this game. Oh, gosh. And it's still alive. It's still alive. Okay, it's gone now. Me. Oh, gosh. What am I doing with my life? This is so stressful. Like, talking, playing, and killing this boss is just literally Hitler. Uh-oh. And you know what's interesting about this specific phase is it can control where you move to. Whew! Did it. Another one bites the dust. But yeah, every boss is really well designed. The curve is really nice. I don't know why a lot of people dislike the game. It's really good overall. Hopefully I'm still saving VODs. I think I'm saving my most recent VODs. I did a lot of voices and stuff at the beginning of this one, and I did a very good like piece over just how like the beginning bosses really teach you about the game. Also, that freaking axe guy finally moved so I can get my coin I wanted. Give me the coin. Yeah! 1 coin! I'm rolling in the dough now. I also defeated that shoot 'em up. There's a shoot 'em up I did earlier with like a bunch of bugs that just took forever. The roly-polies just rolled over me over and over again. As I was saying earlier when I was looking at like game design stuff, one of the things I was mentioning was you don't want to get anything that gives you less damage or a trade-off that gives you less damage, because overall it's just going to balance out. I mean, obviously if it's a power-up, it's going to be more beneficial to use the power-up, but I would rather just do something that increases only, because I don't want to deal with anything that's insane like that. But let's see here. Lobber, roundabout. Great coverage with average damage. Aim backwards for maximum range. I love this one. I don't know why. I just do. charge, hold attack, increase damage. No. Well, if you hold the attack, it increases damage, but I don't know by how much. So I'll test that out later. I'm not a huge fan of any of these. I'm going to save my money. Save my money for now. Ugh. All my legs are in so much pain right now. I was sitting in a very uncomfortable position. I also got this massive glitch earlier where it just froze me in spot. It was pretty dope. And by dope, I mean terrible. Regrettable. Not fun. I defeated the whole first world. That was my goal for tonight. I'm going to keep going, though, because it's only... Oh, it's 9 o'clock. Sorry. I'm just... We have to listen to this. I already brought the contracts. I've never come in here and actually had any contracts that were due. So I think like this is just the default song they do no matter what. Well, ain't that a pip? Don't mess with King. Looks like you with King dies. Don't mess with me. Looks like you really put a kibosh on them debtors. You can head on over to the next aisle. Plenty more marks for you to lean on there. Whoosh. I love that song. I think I saw a great remix of it on YouTube. Boys, hang on. Thank the stars I caught up with you. I believe I found a way out of this mess you're in. Hot dog, you have? Your strength is growing. You'll soon be a match for the devil himself. I mean, for that no-good King Dice, and maybe the devil himself. Golly, do you really think? I do, but you'll never get close to the devil unless you already have those soul contracts in hand. Only then will you get a chance to turn the tables on that fiend. So when the time comes, do the right thing. What does that mean? He just said do the right thing. That's the only instruction he left. I feel like that was a little vague, in all honesty. He probably could have said a little more than that. Hey guys, the carnival's in town. Hail, boys, how you doing? Whoever heard of a... Oh, wait, no. Whoever heard of... how do you do a depressed clown? Whoever... They lost their buddy. They need someone to sing in their musical trio. Whatever shall we do? Do you know what's going on? Good timing, fellas. I just added an upgrade to your aeroplanes. Aeroplanes, listen like air spray, aerosol play. Actually, maybe that is just how they spell airplanes. That's not how I spell airplanes. Now you can wallop your foes with bombs. Just switch your weapon whenever it strikes your fancy. Try it out. He has that like kind of like nerdy look because he has those like goggles on. He reminds me of like more of a... Oh my gosh. Your airplanes are now equipped with the mini bombs. Switch your weapon anytime during battle. There we go. That was definitely the voice. That's what I'm sticking with. Guys, I don't know about you, but after all those bosses, I could totally go for one that's a piece of cake. You know, something that's got it's sweet on me. This better be a good looking boss. I'm just saying, you can't have a cupcake that delicious looking and not be a good looking boss. So. Oh, let's do this. Oh no, it's Pac-Man! What are you doing? Away from the missus, Pac-Man. Ouch. Well, I don't think I'm gonna win this on the first try, guys. Oh, she looks upset. Oh gosh. Oh, the little freaking, can I? Yep, I can. Okay. Oh gosh, I was looking down at the little thing on the ground that ran out of the castle and not paying attention. Okay, let's talk about the animation and stuff of this, or just the design in general. Okay, So it looks like it always starts off with the Pac-Man guy. Poop. I think I'm not gonna make it, guys. I think my goose is cooked. I like how everything in this has eyes. That's a very Banjo and Kazooie thing to have, or I guess a rare thing. Oh, that's new. Oh, he has like this splash damage. Oh, and I wasn't paying attention to the people coming out of the castle. I think this one might actually take a while. Is that licorice around her dress? I'm curious. So many questions, never enough answers. Okay. Is it just safer on the side of the screen? I'm super curious. Was that the trick? You just had to come to the side of the screen? Poop. They make a noise when they pop out. That'll be useful. Oh, his cherry just bombed. I've only taken one hit, guys. I might actually get further. Uh-oh, what's a waffle doing? Is that a waffle? I can't even tell what that is. Is it a sweet tart? You know, I've always had a thing for sweet tarts. Sorry, guys. I make poor jokes whenever I'm... Oh. Honestly, I should have been hit by, like, all of those. Ah! Sometimes I just need to compartmentalize how I play the game. You know, focus on one thing at a time. Is it because waffles are sweet? Why am I facing a waffle? Everything else made sense. Well, I guess there's pretzels in the background. Maybe it's just unhealthy food in general. I like waffles, though. I don't think they're unhealthy. Uh-oh. I think this one's lost her head. Oh, no. Oh my gosh, quit throwing your head. The head is the hardest part about this. Uh-oh. Oh, poop. It bounces out sometimes. That's weird. Like, it follows you and then it bounces out. Thank gosh for the super dodge teleporting thing, or I would have died so long ago. Okay. Oh my gosh, that was I like the crying animation she does. Honestly, if it wasn't for how evil like her eyes looked and stuff like that, like the way she's like bopping up and down, that would have been a way like cute looking boss. I mean, you gotta make bosses look scary. You can't feel bad for killing them like we did for like the blue one. Little slime. Man, Cuphead defeats the Cupcake Lady. Talk about alliteration. Literal alliteration. Ooh, who are you? I think she's a sweet tart. Also, my camera is no longer showing me. There we go. That should have fixed the problem. I just need to move up an inch so the camera keeps me lit up like it's supposed to. You can't catch me unless you take a shortcut. That's what some punk kids did last week. It's the only way they could have beaten me to the rides. Say, maybe you could show me where the shortcut is around here. Ride closed. Shortcut. Oh! At last, I thought I'd... Okay, I think we found the lost clown. So I think he's going to be less sad now. Well, let's see here. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh, that was all the way to the other side. My little show have you. They say juggling is a bit like pairing. Tough at first, but soon you can get to string them together swimmingly. I'm hoping to get 4 someday. 4 in a row. Yeah, that'd be something, wouldn't it? Is he trying to tell me I need to get 4 parries in a row? Usually when there's like a thing that says that and there's like a boss right here, it's like hint, hint, this is the boss that you can get 4 in a row. Nope, not doing any gun play. Oh, they're all back and happy. I have to go all the way back around to go talk to them. There's a little light bulb. I guess you could say he was a genius. He had some bright ideas. He kept things going. I like the little stitch. You can tell it's just like a tarp. This is an old school, like this is even for the time period. It's an old school fair carnival. Beasties and reptiles, and then danger. Let's see what they. We'll talk to him later. I think that'll be the last thing we do before we head out. This reminds me of this water reminds me of what is that game? Oh, there's even a head in it. He reminds me of what is the Norse god that whenever you're talking to water, he's just a severed head and he lives in the water, and he's a Norse god and he's all knowing. And in the new Percy Jackson series about Magnus Chase. No, it's not Angus, it's Magnus. About Magnus Chase. Literally, he says that in like the first chapter of the first book or whatever, after he dies. Point being is, he's a Norse god. That was based on a Norse god. I don't know what a Norse god's doing in the 30s, but who am I to judge? I don't know when the Norse gods were anywhere. Whew, I'm not a fan of clowns. Honestly, this is the scariest boss I've faced so far. Oh gosh. Fudge, this is gonna be a pain. Well, I didn't dodge a single thing he did, so that's a great sign. Like, he's kind of like a mix between a clown and a mime. Oh, he got nice and close to me there. Boom. Oh, piss. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to switch it up. I think the weapons I have are just not fun or not conducive for this guy. I mean, I guess this one is. Oh my gosh, my timing is just off. Guys, this might be a good time to stop. I don't think I can do much worse than this. I don't think I could do worse than this even if I tried. There's a roller coaster in the background. That's neato. Oh, dogs. Dogs. You know, that I think that's pretty clever, having like a balloon dog that like, I mean, just not specifically a dog. I mean, I guess that is like the basic things all clowns make, but to have like dog balloons, you know what I'm talking about. Picture is what I was going to say. This phase is so hard for me. I don't know why. Is it just the timing? No, there he goes. And I'm still don't got a chance here. Honestly, this is actually probably conducive for these balloon guys. Also, did you see the nose on that train? I think I can parry it. A note for later. I ain't no dummy like the ones on the roller coaster. I learn eventually. I'll eventually beat this boss. It's inevitable. As long as, you know, the world doesn't end. Which, I mean, I'm sure it won't. I like the, like, moon in the background. It reminds me of, like, I can't put my finger on it. You know the art style where, like, I feel like that bunny's, like, supposed to be, like... I can't put my finger on it. It's just, like, a... There's just so much cool happening in this background. It's overwhelming. Train. Can I parry you? Yes, I can! The nose is parryable. So if you get, like, in a bind, you can just parry the freaking nose. Oh. I didn't realize there was one down there. This is definitely the safest place to be. It's already coming back. It's already coming back. At least I know I can parry the nose, so I don't need to worry too much about when the train gets here. As long as I see it. Well, unless that happens. Oh, poop. Oh, man. That guy was a bit of a jack, if you know what I mean. That's all I'm saying. He's a bit of a jack. Of all shades. He can do it all. Oh, my gosh. I'm so bad at this game. I'll never be good at it. Oh, I didn't notice the air balloon. Was that there last time? I don't remember seeing it there. If I didn't see it, it didn't happen, right? That's how it works. I wonder if the background changes. There's like a little clown guy back there. There's some bunnies too. Oh man, they take just a few more hits than I expect them to take, if that makes sense. The timing on this guy was also a little tricky to fight up. Oh, is that a water slide to the left over there? I can't tell if it's a rainbow water slide. Oh, there's the pyramids in the background. Like, maybe all these worlds are connected. Maybe like they do hint at other bosses, because I saw the pyramid boss was over there as well. Do you think they're actually that clever in their art design? Like the pyramids are over there, just like they are. What I mean is like, okay, left of the freaking, left of the quartet that's singing, there's you know what I'm talking about. Next to the quartet, there was a set of pyramids that we could have fought. I went for the roller coaster because I mean roller coasters are way more fun than like a mysterious pyramid with no explanation. But I'm regretting it now because I'm not a huge fan of clowns. But but like I was saying before the game so rudely killed me, like I think like there's so much love about the artwork in this game and the art design and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, how many spokes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's only 7? 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's 8. Okay. So the Ferris wheel reminds me of this puzzle from Professor Layton. The puzzle is pretty simple. Each of the carts has a different name. For instance, has a different like letter on it. There's an M, there's a V, there's an E, there's a J, there's an S, there's a U, there's an N, and then there's one more letter, and you have to guess what that other letter is. Because they're, you know, all of the roller coaster like coaches, like the coaches, like you see on, sorry, all the Ferris wheel coaches, not the roller coaster coaches, has a specific nickname, and I'm like a guy that is, you know, I want to bring my girl on a date, and I have a very special booth picked out. I've rented it. I know the number. I know it's none of the other ones I just said, and they're all named based on a theme, and the theme is like well, I can't tell you the theme because then it'll give away what the last car is. But you have to figure out what the theme is. But the very first one's called M, the second one's called V, third one's called E. The next one is the one that I can't say. And then the one after that's J, and then S, and then, oh, I jumped right into that. And then it's like N. So basically, from that, you're supposed to figure out what the coach is that I rented out. Because I have all these plans. There's a little table set up in there. I got some roses. It's never going to time that properly at all. It's never going to happen. I like the sound he makes when he falls off. That's a clever sound. Good use of sound design. Oh gosh, I feel like I hit them enough. You know what I mean? I hate it whenever a balloon doesn't pop when you hit it. If that makes sense. Like, because you're like, okay, it's a balloon. They should die pretty fast. I think the art design misleads me as to exactly how much health the balloons have. And I mean, like, honestly, it's a really well-designed game. They broadcast everything pretty well. Like, I'm never like, oh my gosh, this is just overwhelming. But sometimes, man, you just gotta play some Cuphead. You know what I mean? If every video game was just impossibly easy, you'd never fully enjoy it. I mean, unless it had a fantastic story. Like, I'll take a fantastic story, I guess, over... Nah, I'm more of a gameplay guy these days. I used to be more into the story. Like, Final Fantasy VI, I love the story. But, oh my gosh, do I hate grinding in RPGs. It's just the worst. Oh my gosh. Those balloon dogs remind me of something. I can't put my finger on it. Uh-oh. What did they... Oh, they just fall. The bullets come out so fast. Honestly, the only thing that makes this guy threatening is the fact that the train is going to be coming in a second. I think that's a pretty easy phase. I need to do better and just get at it, but I want to keep talking. just about life in general and everything like that. I like it because this honestly has a lot more feel of a carnival than the Cupcake boss did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, this is definitely a carnival. I mean, Cupcakes, it felt a little shoot-in comparison. I don't know. This feels like, okay, this was the very first thing that they're like, okay, they're in a carnival. This was the idea that spawned all the other bosses, I feel. And the reason I say that is because, like, I don't know, it just fits this theme so well. If I were an art designer, this would have been the crux to be like, oh, yeah, no. They were definitely doing a, we're definitely going to be doing they die, so as long as, honestly, I just need to make sure not to, oh, man, I just completely lost. Oh, man, that's unfair. That was unfair. Like, I don't even... Oh, and I can still hit the donkey. That's frustrating. Okay, we got this. I like how the clown has, like, this two-face vibe to him. I think jumping and dodging is way easier. I'm probably going to stick to doing that. Now the light bulb gets me. I should just not pay attention. I do way better when I'm not paying attention. Oh. I can save myself some time if I parry more. I should parry more. Paramore, good band. Just saying. I'm so scatterbrained when I play games like this. I should probably tell a story. I'll tell the story of how I saved Christmas, since it is 'tis Christmas season. If you're watching this later, then I mean it might not be, but 'tis Christmas season, and as such should be treated as such. Words and things. So you guys remember Modern Warfare 2? As gamers, I hope you remember Modern Warfare 2, but I'm not gonna just expect you to remember every video game ever. But that game came out, and there's this glitch when it first came out, which I don't expect you to remember. And the glitch was basically like you could get in a never-ending multiplayer game, and the achievement to get back then was a nuke. You wanted to at least get one nuke in your Modern Warfare 2 life before it ended. So that was the goal. The goal was to get a nuke, basically. You had to kill 24 people, and then you just instantly won the game because you were so badass. But obviously that wasn't really like easy to do, because like if someone saw you were getting close to getting a nuke, they would hunt you down and then kill you. And by hunt you down, I mean like literally the entire enemy team would be like, oh no, the game's gonna end. Because sometimes people play the objective. They're not worried about kills, and they don't pay attention to kills until they need to. So, like, they would, like, the kill death didn't matter to them. Like, they would just, I want to win the game. I'm going to capture the points. Meanwhile, you're sitting in a house, like, a mile away. Like, I just need enough kills to win before they get enough points to win. I mean, it's a good strategy. Don't get me wrong, if you can pull it off. But, I mean, it did encourage the nightmare that is the kill-death ratio that everyone cares about so much these days. I think that was the catalyst for it, honestly, that game. But back to the story that I keep forgetting to talk about. When that game initially came out, there was this glitch that allowed you to make a multiplayer... Because, when you're playing a multiplayer online game, the servers are all hosted on their end. Oh, and so... what that means is like they pick what the multiplayer lobbies and stuff are. You can't just do a custom game and then play it however you want. But in this case you could, because that was what the glitch was. You and a friend could set up a custom game, and then through whatever you could like take over like a server. I'm not sure how it worked. All I know is that like it counted you as an online server, so anything you did in it, you could get like all the achievements and stuff associated with it. So what we'd do is we'd make these never-ending games and then get whatever achievements we needed to get based on that. And, random players would get thrown in with us. But the best part about it is, like, they'd get replaced, and then the round never ends. And so the most exciting thing about that was the fact that, oh my gosh, we can get nukes. Because the only way to end the game is to nuke somebody. Everything else just doesn't do anything. And so that's pretty much what me and my friends did with the glitch. We would set up a lobby, and then we would try to get. I need to remember the green one just comes down so fast. I'm never ready for it. But we were like, we'd set up these lobbies. We'd be like, okay, let's do it. Let's like get the let's do this thing. Let's all get nukes. And so we made it our goal to do it, ASAP, because you never know. That glitch probably got found out pretty fast. I don't know what it did to the servers, but it probably wasn't good. And so our goal was to basically get nukes before like our time, like like a 0-day attack. You want to do it before they patch it out, because then all your friends got a nuke except for you. So we took turns. It was my turn. We were getting the nuke. It was great. It was Christmas time because games like that come out in November, and when you're a poor kid, like you get them for Christmas. That's when you get the gift. So that's when the glitch was going on. Early, right after launch. A lot of people didn't know about it yet. But if it made it to my ears, because I live out in the middle of nowhere, then it was probably getting to the point where it was going to be fixed soon. So our goal was like, yeah, let's just freaking do it. Let's get the job done. You know what I mean? And so that was our goal for basically the entire day. It was Christmas break. You're a kid. You got time off. Might as well do something productive. And by productive, I mean play video games. And so that's what we did. And we set up a lobby. We got it for all my friends. It was finally my turn. I'm like the friend that just like is like, yeah, no, you can go first, that type of thing. Like I'm never like pushy in that aspect. I'm not like, oh, we need to do it my way or the highway. But basically what that led to is it was my turn. I was the last one to go. Everyone had already gotten the achievement. It was really hard. We helped protect each other because the randoms would still try to kill us to prevent us from getting the nuke. They had no idea what was going on. They could care less. That was going way too fast for me to dodge anything. Oh, can I kill them? Are they killable? Yeah, they're killable. Or I can just let the train do it. Oh, fudge. I didn't see the baseball that was still hanging around up there. I was that close to beating it. Sad face. Sorry, I hadn't seen that phase of the boss before, so I got a little distracted from my story. Point being is, we were doing the glitch. It was my turn. My dad comes in, and he's very, very shocked. It doesn't snow a lot in Oklahoma, so when it does, it's like detrimental. Like everything's closed down. It could be like an inch of snow, and everyone will be freaking out. Cars will be off the side of the road. People will be dying. Like I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. It just gets that bad, and so basically that's what we were dealing with. We were like, okay, now we have to. Yeah, so it's an inch of snow, no big deal. I'm home, I'm inside. Christmas is literally like tomorrow. Yeah, this was Christmas Eve. This happened, so this is like the night before Christmas type of like scenario. I'm getting toys tomorrow. I could care less about what's going on outside of my own bubble of video games. I've already done all my chores. I have no homework left. I actually did it over the break. I wasn't the kid that didn't do it until like before class when we got back. Although screw teachers that like give you homework before break. Oh poop, not again. Me. I was trying to parry it. I should have just not done it. But yeah, point being, like, I was good to go. Like this glitch was as good as mine. I had spent all day. Oh fudge. I had spent all day like working on it and stuff like that. And so like it seemed inevitable. And then my dad comes in, like I said, and he was like, I need to talk to you. And he's very serious. And my dad, he tends to overreact about problems. Like he doesn't really think about the solution first. He's usually to be like, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. And I mean, he does eventually get to the productive way to solve a problem, but he usually freaks out first. And so he comes into my room and he's freaking out about something. And I'm the calm, rational one in our family. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why are you freaking out? And he's like, well, it's your sister. And I'm like, which one? Do we need to make an emergency trip to the hospital? And he's like, no. Your sister, my older sister, it turns out, is stuck at her boyfriend's house. I'm like, at her boyfriend's house? Yeah, she's like, she's over there for Christmas. They were having a good time, like, but like she can't get out. Her car's stuck, so she's gonna have to stay there for Christmas. And I was like, okay, so how is this a me problem? And then he's like, well, I need your help digging out the car. And I was like, okay, I can do that, but like, can it wait? I have like important things going on. And yeah, try to convince your dad that an achievement that's totally like one of a kind is worth it. Good luck with that. So he was like, no, you need to come do it. And so that's what we did. We went and we got it. And I was helping him dig out the car. And then he was just like, okay, bad news. And I'm like, what's the bad news? So me and him are digging while it's still snowing and the wind's still blowing. Guess what? You can't really dig whenever that's going on. Like, you can't keep digging it up. I mean, you can, but like it was just an impossible task. It was like pushing the boulder up a side of a mountain and then just watching it roll back up again. Like, that kind of task is what we had set before us. And it was just beyond frustrating. Like, I was like, done. My dad was done. My dad, very willing to give up. It was totally like, okay, yeah, no, we'll leave you there. And I didn't have, like, I was like, okay, my friends were protecting me. I still got enough kills. I got back. I had 20 kills at the time. I think you needed 24. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you needed 20 kills, and I had 14. Point being is, I was super close to getting the achievement. We gave up on it. We let her stay at my my now brother-in-law's house. End of story. She's trapped there. Well, my mom comes in, and if you don't know my mom, she definitely takes that. Her and my dad were meant to be, that's for sure. Because she just is livid. And I'm like, why are you livid? And she's like, you guys need to get my daughter or there won't be a Christmas. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, if you don't get your daughter here, I'm not letting you open any presents until she gets back. And this was like the kind of ice storm that like people are going to be trapped at whatever place they're trapped at for at least a couple days. And Christmas was the next day, like I said. And I'm like, I'm not missing out on Christmas. So me and dad are like, what are we going to do? And we're like, okay, we're just going to plow over the snow. Like, there's a huge drift outside the garage just because of the way the wind was blowing. And somehow we had to figure out how to navigate our way through it all and get like out of the driveway for Christmas, which was just insane. Like, I don't even, like, why did we choose to do that to ourselves? So I get in the car and I have like basically a bunch of backpacks and books and stuff like that. And if you're like, why did I have a backpack full of books and stuff in the back? Well, we needed to load the back of the car down so it would hold in the snow. Now, it was a 4-wheel drive car, so we weren't really worried about like the 2-wheel being a problem, but we needed to make sure we had enough weight that we could get traction. So that's what we were doing with the shoot. Sorry, I just figured out that those minions are really annoying. Poop! I was so close to beating it. I didn't even want to look at it. I'd probably beat it by the end of this story, knowing my luck. What was I saying? But yeah, so my mom comes in livid, mad, etc., etc. And so we load up the car and we go plowing out of the snow. And like I said, there are no good drivers in Oklahoma, and you know, my dad included in that. And so we did the best we could, okay? And we managed to make our way to the neighborhood. There were cars, I'm not kidding you, on the side of the road in ditches. You could tell there were like truckers on the road too that were really nice and just like helping people get from point A to point B or out of their cars that were stuck. And I mean, it's an Oklahoma thing. Like, people just do that. They'll just go. Well, you saw it with like kind of what happened in the flooding recently. When there was a bunch of flooding in Texas, people would just get out their boats and go help people. That's just the way it is down here. But it was kind of like that. There were people on trucks. Those were the only people that could actually navigate. The ones that had like traction and were actually ready for it. That came from the north. But they inevitably were like, oh, okay, cool. Let's help these people. And so we had to navigate through the trucks. And it was one of those situations where, you know, if you stop the car, it's just going to stop. Like, if we take our foot off the gas, like, we're stuck wherever that is. So we make it to the neighborhood where she's trapped. And we go to get her out, basically. We're like, okay, we call ahead. We say, be ready. You're just going to have to jump in the car. We can't stop we can't do a full stop, or we will be stuck in the snow just because it's pouring down so harshly. And it's not like snow. It's like ice snow. So it's the worst. It just freezes to you instantly. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm having a terrible time. I'm missing out on my achievement. My friends, I don't even know what they were doing during this time period. They probably just moved on and decided to help someone else get it. And, I'm busy trying to save Christmas for my household because we're not having it if she's not there. So we call her. We get to the house. She finally shows up. I jump out of the car to go get her. So dad knows I'm going to go get her. And then he says, basically says, Boop, 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 boop. Sorry. I'm trying to actually beat this level while telling the story. I don't want to just... Oh, poop. I don't think I can do it. Ugh. Boom. Let's just... I forgot I can dodge. It's been that long since I've dodged. Nope. Come on, come on, come on, die. Okay, good. Okay. Where was the story going? I was saying something, but I completely forgot what it was. Is the train just going to pick up while I'm on it? No, it waits for it to go by because it has to switch the animation of the train because the train goes way faster. Where was I with this story? Okay, I actually need to get down on the ground now. Oh, you can't kill them until they've popped out of their little bubbles. That's annoying. I rated you, but I have no idea what that means. I don't either, Antelope. I don't either. Party of 2. Woo, woo, 2 people. Did everyone go to bed? Is that where everyone is? Also, are you staying up late tonight? Also, how does a raid work? I'm so curious. But yeah, to finish my story real quick, because I've been rambling for quite some time on this story about saving Christmas. Nuke, Modern Warfare 2, glitched, Christmas Eve, trying to get it. Dad and me try to go out, can't get out, decide to give up. Mother comes along, says Christmas is canceled if we don't get my sister. Terrible weather outside, like absolutely atrocious for Oklahoma standards. Like it's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. Like honestly, it was not terrible whatsoever. Like Oklahomans just suck at driving. But it's Christmas, winter, etc., etc. And we go to get her. I get out of the car. She's like all happy-dory, lovey-dovey. She's basically, in her head, this has been the white Christmas Eve she's been dreaming of. She's been getting to know her boyfriend more. So me, I'm like super pissed. I haven't been able to get my achievement. I'm freaking out because I'm thinking it's the end of the world. And then she's just like, oh, isn't the world wonderful and everything's great? Yeah, 7 viewer hype. Whoop, whoop. And so I'm like, okay. I have no idea what that means. And, I'm never going to beat this boss. It's never going to happen, guys. I get out of the car. She's hunky-dory. I'm basically shaking her at that point. Like, just do something. Like, stop being you. And, like, I just want her to, like, get in the car and jump. So she immediately realizes the hell that me and Dad have been going through. We get back, and, we do it. We basically save Christmas. We get back just in time to... celebrate. No. Ah! We get back just in time for celebrate. I have a chance to get the achievement. We get in a server. We shut down. We make it where it's like a custom game that never ends. So the only way for it to end is to get a nuke. And we're doing all this. And my mom comes in and she's like, Christmas is still canceled. And I'm like, wait, what? She's like, your little sister's Christmas present from Santa is at your grandparents' house. And I'm like, no, I've just went through hell and back again to get your daughter, who was very ungrateful for her father and brother coming to save her, back. And now you say my little sister's present is not like here, it's at my grandparents' house. Now I want you to know my grandparents' house is like literally the street behind ours. So I'm thinking like, okay, we can't drive over there because on the way back, our car got stuck and we had to walk home. Now it wasn't like a huge walk. It was just at the entrance to the neighborhood, but still our car was stuck. So we couldn't very well drive over there. So we were going to have to walk. And I'm thinking, okay, just pick up one present, get out of there. I was like, why can't Dad do it? I'm super into getting this achievement. Like I want this. This is important to me. Why won't you understand? And they were like, well, like, oh, it's a video game, shut up, boy, type voice. It's a pretty heavy gift. And I'm like thinking, how heavy could this freaking thing be? Turns out they had got her a moped. Like, I'm talking like a girl that's like, oh no, get it. I have 1 hit point left. I'm never going to beat this bot. They got her an entire moped. Like, I'm like, wait, what? And so I go back to their house. We walk over there in blizzard-like conditions. I want to continue to add. And, boop. And, it's just like, This has been the hell of a Christmas Eve ever. I thought I've already saved Christmas. I was back. I was going to get achievement. It was going to be a happy ending. I'm now in a blizzard, and my dad, like I said, he's not the most calm one in stressful situations, so he is cursing like a sailor to me as we're trying to take this thing. Any mistake I make, or any mistake that's made at all, is my fault. And he is in no... Let's just say he was very Scrooge McDuck that day. Ah! Mother trucker. But, my point being is, we're driving through... We're just crushing through this. Thank you, Chaos. We're just crushing through this snow. It's just, I'm so worried. Like, I'm like, we're going to die. We're going to blizzard. My dad's yelling at me. Life sucks and miserable. My tears are crying as I'm crying them. Like, I had just given up at this point. There was no happy Christmas for me. And, we almost gave up. We almost just left the moped in the middle of the street. Like, it was just a huge heavy box, and we were tired of carrying it. And no one was grateful for all the work me and my dad were doing. Mom was just like, very like, it's not happening if we don't do this. She had no remorse for our feelings. It had to be her perfect Christmas, or there would be no Christmas. And so we get it in there. And by the way, my sister has to be distracted while Dad and I are gone. So she has no idea where we are, the little one. And, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, I just want this achievement in a video game. Like, is that too much to ask for? Even if it is technically cheating. I would have cheated to get the achievement. I realized that. I was exploiting a glitch in the game, like in early access. Like, that's not how you're supposed to get it. And I actually don't know if I ever did legitimately get the new glitch. My point being is, we get through the snow, we get it back, Christmas is saved, and I opt out of making Christmas cookies to get the achievement. And oh man, that was a nightmare in itself. Just being like, please let me I really want this thing. Please. Like, I get it. Christmas cookies are a thing, and we make them together as a family, but I'm so sick of family right now. And I don't want any more of it. And I'm not trying to be rude, but like, I'm just done. And so I go back to my room, and as I go into my room, Modern Warfare 2 closes and then updates, and the patch has been patched. And so I go out there and I just smile and I sing Christmas carols with my family, and I saved Christmas. But like, at the same time, like, I didn't get that achievement. So it came at a cost. The cost of me getting my presents and stuff the next day was me not getting an achievement and getting to spend time with my friends on one of the very few occasions when you can. Because let's be honest, during the holidays, most people are going around, but Christmas Eve is like the one time everyone's like actually in their house, ready to go to bed and whatnot. But yeah, that's the story of how I saved Christmas. Hopefully it wasn't completely boring while I fought the same boss over and over and over again. I actually need to pay attention to the game now, so I'm going to do that. So this boss, if you haven't noticed, is definitely themed off like a carnival ride. Like, the entire area we're in is carnival themed. So I think it's fitting that we're fighting this boss right now. But its phases are pretty interesting. Like, I like the balloons. Like, they remind me of the dogs from... I don't know what they remind me of. Their teeth remind me of Reptar from Rugrats. But I need to learn to parry more. That'll be more helpful. Oh my gosh! The donkey is just literally the definition of a JA. That's all I'm saying. Now you're gonna curse because I don't have explicit on my channel because I'm all about using appropriate language. Just want to slam my face into a wall. I told an entire story about how I saved Christmas, and I still can't defeat this clown / mime / whatever you are. He kind of has like the total biscuit hat going on. About his face is just flopping. Oh, light bulb. Okay. So, it's honestly like, oh, I wasn't paying attention and I got hit because of it. I like the teeth on the air balloon. It has that like smile. Honestly, this art style reminds me very much of the old Humongous games. I don't know if you guys have ever played those, but they're pretty good. I have all of them. One of I think it was Crash. One of Jared's longtime subscribers / followers loves the Humongous games like I do, and I actually own all of them. And I promised him I'd stream one time, but then he was too busy and had to go. Maybe it was Trash that said that. Like, Crash and Trash, they know each other, and they used to both... I can't tell if it was just Crash twice or what, but point being is, like, there were two subscribers that loved these old point-and-click games that I just adore. Although I'm more fond of like things like Monkey Island and stuff like that. They were definitely like kiddie games, if that makes sense. But like, they're, Baby's first. No, actually, I think my first point and click was a Fisher Price game. It came with the castle and like the pirate boat and like the what was it? The pirate ship the Western Town, and each one of the games was like themed off of that like specific toy, and it's pretty simple. It was a click on the screen and try to find all the hidden items, and so you'd have to find like gold bricks and like things along those lines. I used to just sit in my room and chew on my t-shirt and play those games. That was how my parents kept me out of their hair. They would just be mowing and be like, okay, we'll sit the kid in front of the computer because he seems to like those. I mean, that and Blue's Clues. I would pull out my like handy dandy notebook. Like I had a handy dandy notebook and I drew in it all the time. It was one of those like dry erase ones. So I had like this large green dry erase marker that looked like the crown that Steve used. It was a brilliant gift. I wish I hadn't like used it to the point of its destruction. But like I was saying before I got on that tangent, I was playing it reminds me of the humongous games, specifically Putt Putt. I don't know why that teeth reminds me of that. Oh, you know what the teeth also remind me of? They remind me of that Yu-Gi-Oh card, the Pot of Greed. Like that's the exact smile the Pot of Greed has from the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like the exact one. And that moon face reminds me of something too, but I can't put my finger on it. Did anyone else play Yu-Gi-Oh? That was a huge thing for me in school. Wait, no, I just saw someone in chat talk about point and click, so I'm gonna keep doing that because I'm a huge fan. I just read what Chaos said in chat. That's pretty, like that was your first point and click. I don't think that counts as a point and click. The whole point. Okay, so a point and click in the traditional sense is I was like 7 laughing. Oh, I bet it was a traumatic. Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what kind of Sonic point and click it must have been. Also, Newgrounds. Gosh, that takes me back. I remember the escape. That's when I first played Escape Rooms. Was on Newgrounds. Well, and then like a lot of good artists and stuff came out of Newgrounds. Like I don't know if you guys have ever played the. Oh my gosh, what is that series called? Castle Crashers. If you've played Castle Crashers, it's like the huge chicken. I forget what it's called. But like. A lot of those guys came from Newgrounds, like specifically. Like, honestly, that humor is just so good. I wish Jared had finished playing Castle Crashers with me. I love that game. Just any good old style beat 'em up is fun. But yeah, no. In terms of like point and clicks, like a traditional point and click is probably more of a. What would I say? It's more of. It's probably more of a. It's the point is a story and convoluted puzzles. I think it has to have a puzzle of some sort, specifically a convoluted one. Like, the puzzles can't 100% make sense. It needs to be like, you took a jar of peanut butter and you fed it to a monkey to get the monkey to dance, which then gave you what you needed to put the nail in the door whenever you also have a hammer in your inventory and you end up using it for something completely else. Like, that by definition is a point and click. Like, if you haven't heard of the most infamous point and click puzzles, there's ones that like, what is that one called? There's one that I'm thinking of that's just on the top of my head. Boom. It's one that there's like a goat, and you just have to like basically solve the goat. And like you can try everything, but if you get close to this goat, I swear it will kill you and it will end your game. And I don't think there were good saves back then. Anyone else remember password saves? Those were always fun. I actually have an entire book that's like the size of a full English dictionary. That is just off that one freaking last horseshoe got me. But like it had all the codes for games, and I was always like, I'm so cool. I can afford to have these like code books. Oh man, that reminds me of the Scholastic book fairs. Those were so much fun. So like, I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but in schools like they have the school book fairs. And as a nerd, like that had like, I was actually cared about his reading count point score and was like competing with like a girl in our class to have the top. Like the Scholastic book fair was like a dream come true. It was point and click, remove their clothes. No, yes, but I would argue that it is not what I think of as a point and click game. I think of point and click as anything by what is now like the people working at oh my gosh, What is it called? They're working at they made stacking in Cave Story. What are they called? Oh my gosh. It's gonna kill me if I can't think of the name. It's like Double Fine. Double Fine. That's definitely what it is. Yeah, there's like honestly, there is something else that kind of reminds me of point and clicks. That's not quite point and clicks. They're like the Fisher Price games I was talking about, where you just have to find stuff. You just click on the screen and you try to like find hidden items. Kind of like, did you guys ever have highlights? So I would always have those delivered to my house, and they were the best. I would always skip to the find the hidden items in the picture game. I loved those things. The more I talk, the more I realize how big of a nerd I was growing up. Like, I literally was sat in the computer at like 3, I think. Like, I wasn't even old enough to like function in a lot of other ways, and I could run a computer. I think I might take a break from this boss. I think I can beat it, but I think just I can't put enough focus into it right now. I mean, I could, but then I would be very boring, and I'd rather just continue rambling and talking with myself. I always eventually get to a conclusion. I don't know how long it takes to get there, but I do. Sorry, I said I was not going to focus on this boss and just give up, but like the inner gamer in me is like, no, we will do this. This will be our last stand. This will be the thing they push you in the hole for. Meanwhile, my death count is just going through the roof. Boom. Okay, this is it. This is the one we win. I'm actually going to try hard this one. I'm going to talk about the game instead of like point and click games. Although a good point and click game, that now I'm thinking about it, is Monkey Island. I think I mentioned that already. But it's so funny and it's so good. I mean, I like Maniac Mansion, specifically the one with time travel. I forget what that one's called. I think it's not Maniac Mansion, it's the one after that. But it's so good. They're just a good game series in general. If you've never played them, I'd recommend, I think, you know what, a good Let's Player to watch. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Yogscast. They do some great D&D streams and stuff like that, like High Rollers, etc., etc. They also have a great Civ streaming thing they do. But one of their members, Sips, he's an older guy from, I think, northeastern America, and he just does these great point and click, like, because he actually loves them, so he really gets into them. When he's one of those, like, he's really good at doing Let's Plays when it's a game he's passionate about, but outside of that, not so much. So he does a really good job with like traditional point and click. So I'd totally recommend, if you want to see what like a good point and click is like, watching him. He also does great, like, I think he's the one that I think HC Bailey was the first streamer I watched play Final Fantasy VI. Not streamer, sorry, first YouTuber I watched play Final Fantasy VI. And he does such a good job because he skips all the random encounters. But he like leaves. So he doesn't skip all the random encounters. He always does the ones that the first time you see an enemy. So you get to see what an enemy is. He talks you through its weaknesses, and then he actually gets every story element and collects everything. Like the way he cuts is just great. The only person I think that I enjoy as well as HC Bailey when it comes to streaming like RPGs is probably what is his name? He does Mother. Or Mother was the first one he did. He does mostly Nintendo games, and he's just a really nice kid/dude. No. Oh my gosh. Die. Just die. Oh my gosh, I did it. Yeah, Sips and Shin, especially whenever they did the old, like, making the, oh, wait. Oh, actually, The Sims is, other than, like, the first, like, teen-rated game, because my parents, they actually did care about, like, the reviews and stuff like that. Sims was the first teen-rated game I got to play. It was whenever we were transitioning to the house that I lived in before, the one I'm living in now. It was the very first game we played, and I actually never played it. It was always my older sister, and it was always angry to me as the gamer, the one that had an N64, because I was a console gamer, too. I had an NES and stuff like that. Legend of Zelda was probably my first. Well, Frogger was the first game I ever played. I played it on the Game Boy, followed by New Super Mario Bros, and then it was the original Legend of Zelda. Which I know time frame that doesn't make sense, but my dad had an NES, and then I had a Game Boy Color. That was my first system. But point being is, yeah, The Sims was the very first game I played. That was like a teen-rated game. I remember being like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? What are those pixels? Like, what is this stuff? Things that like boys that are going through puberty do. Just like, what is this? I don't understand. And my sister being like, whatever. Like, I remember I accidentally I logged into her file and killed her characters. And she actually loved Sims. Like, she would get really into it. She would like make her like fantasy, like world, and not fantasy as in like, RPG stuff, but like fantasy as in like, oh man, I think I'd be really great with this boy in my class, and like that kind of thing. And like, I was just super ecstatic about basically everything that they got to do along those lines. Like, I remember I killed her boyfriend off, and then like the Grim Reaper came, and that was before you knew stuff like that could happen in games, like things that you didn't plan on actually being in the game, like Easter egg type things. And so when the Grim Reaper showed up at her place, she was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I think that's my earliest memory of The Sims. But I have all of Sims 2, actually. I own them all. She gave them to me for like $5, and I'm a hoarder when it comes to game cases. I don't actually have the games. I just have all the cases. Okay. Oh, yeah, we finally beat that boss, FYI, for those just listening and not paying attention to what I'm doing. So that's done. So honestly, I'm just going to let this song play. I mean, yeah, no, I agree. The babies that could come from the Grim Reaper would probably be pretty awesome. Like, he gives me that, like, he has the hooded violet, and then he has, like, the long finger, the little fingers. It was very much, like, the Gauntlet style of Grim Reaper, like, the one that you're like, this is the traditional one. That's before they got all crazy with, like, Diablo-level death people. But no, I would never want to sex up the Grim Reaper. I feel like doing anything with him would just get me boned. Like, honestly, I don't think he's that humorous either. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. But yeah, let's see what the quartet has to say now that they're joined back together. I'm done clowning around, as it were. Oh boy, you did it. We're a quartet once more. Gee, you must have run yourself ragged tracking him down. We can't thank... Wait, I feel like I should be changing pitch. We can't thank you enough. Let's celebrate with a song. Ready, boys? Key of B flat. Oh, that's exactly what I needed. A nice break. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. I'm talking with my mouth full. I apologize. See, I think Sims 4 was terrible, though. Like, just the way they handled it and release and stuff like that. EA, just in general, annoyed me those last couple of years. But yeah, no, Sims 2 Pets, I loved that. That was really fun. I loved Nightlife. I loved all the things you could do with magic. Sims 2 is probably one of my favorites. They just didn't add enough to Sims 3 and stuff like that. I think it's because they upped the graphics Which I mean, oh boy, do like those houses and stuff look nice. But I think like they hurt their overall ability to produce content. Now, don't get me wrong, the Sims 3 community created some amazing mods. Like, it just makes me so happy to see like all those amazing mods and stuff like that. Like, anytime that I can have Hermione and like Ron and then like Harry and Ginny just like living in the same neighborhood is a good time. Same with like Batman and Robin being like just a street down. Like that, those were awesome mods. And then having like the Batmobile pull up, like go across the street and stuff like that. So the Sims 3 modding community is pretty good. Like I also enjoyed the Sims 3. But I think Sims 4 was finally when I just like cut ties with the game series in general. I'm sure it hurts me. It hurts my soul. Just all the things they do with it. I haven't seen it. I'm sure the community probably could have saved it. Sims has a pretty good community in general. I mean, as far as communities go, there's some pretty other aggressive ones out there. Oh my gosh, I'm just so like pumped from killing that clown boss. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I'm just pacing. I don't want to do running guns because they're just the worst. But I think I need to do that. I need a break from that boss fight and just do a run and gun. My sister, she didn't enjoy Sims 4, like I was saying, like because they removed a lot of like the good content, like as you were saying. I think what ended up happening, at least from my memory, is I think she played Sims Medieval. Now I don't think it was a traditional Sims game. I think it was quite different, if I remember right. Now this is just me not knowing anything about the Sims Medieval from memory, but I think she really enjoyed that one, and it came out around the same time. I really like. Oh, fudge. Oh, I defeated the wall. This entire level is overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, there's a little nose robot there and little cars. Honestly, the cars. I had one of those dumb moments when you're like, wait, I genuinely thought for a second this game was made in the 1930s, and I was like, oh my gosh, those have the same faces as cars. Cars stole this game's faces, and actually, now that I think about it, Herbie probably did exist before Cars. So I'm just gonna say that Kirby was definitely the one that came first. So let's be honest here. This wall reminds me of, I think it's a Contra boss. I wonder if that's what they're going for. Is that like a dog in the spaceship back there or a monkey? Oh wow, that's some. Oh, sorry, I got so overwhelmed by the art, the Funhouse art in the background, that I was not prepared for like anything that's going on right now. Oh no, oh no, my brain is just telling me to go, and that never ends up well. It just ends up Okay, so there's stars, horseshoes, gold and red balloons. Oh wait, no, that's the Lucky Charms theme song. I thought it would help me. I was wrong. It didn't. It most definitely did not help me. Oh, fudge. Oh yeah, no, I didn't think there was too much to it. Honestly, I wish they kind of went back to like, I think if they want, you know how like, I don't know if you ever played the Harvest Moon games, but like Harvest Moon, I love all of the Harvest Moons. I love Stardew Valley. I wish I could play it, but I know if I ever start playing it, I'll just never stop. Like the very, I'm going on another tangent, and this one's going to be a pretty long one, so I'm just fair warning. The very first, I'm going to retry this level. The very first brainwork. Okay, so this is the first time I realized like what marriage and like having children and death was as a concept. And like I was super young when this happened, so like this is not a normal age to be having these realizations about life in general. It was Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, which I know is not the best Harvest Moon. I'm more of a fan of like the traditional like Game Boy ones, but it was the very first one I played. There were 3 romance options in it, and you basically inherited a farm. I think it was your dad passed away, and you move out, and very much the story of like Stardew Valley in general. Oh my gosh, I had no hits, and then I jumped into the lips. I just had to not move. That's all I had to do. That's an impossible task. Let's just be honest here. But so it's Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, and I had a wonderful wife. I went every day to her. Actually, I tried to woo, I think, the girl in the bar first, but I was a kid, so I didn't know like that she wanted a specific gift. So I would just always give the girl. This programmed me for life. This is probably why I've never had like other than one long-term relationship that I know. I think the short. Well, I consider long-term like a year. So the only reason I've ever had one long-term relationship is probably due to video games. So like I would always just give the girls whatever was in my pocket, like, you know, a flower, a pretty flower, or something that I like. And so I was like, okay, here's a pretty flower. Like, you got to enjoy that. And so there was just this blonde in the bar that I was like, she'll totally dig these flowers eventually if I just keep giving them to her. And she just never did. And so I actually did not, like, you can lose the game by not like hooking up. Like it'll end after so many seasons if you don't hook up, which is just weird. So I always thought, okay, that was the end of the game. I just never could. But like it says on the back, like, oh, you can get married and stuff like that. So I was determined. This is before you could look it up online. I just want to clarify that, or before I was smart enough to. Maybe one, not 100 sure which. No, because I think we still had AOL back then. No, because it was on the GameCube. Now I'm questioning. I was probably just too young to be allowed internet privileges, even though I had computer privileges. Brain, work for me here. Oh yeah, so I couldn't woo her. I tried wooing the girl at the hotel, and that just didn't work out for me either. And so like I was pretty much given up in general. And then I went to the farm where I bought my seeds, and there was this like really nice like her name's Celia, I believe, and I would give her the flowers that were basically right outside her house, like literally right outside. Like they were basically weeds for all intents and purposes. And I was like, well, there's no way that like, because I'm a kid. Like I'm not gonna think like, oh, each girl has specific things she likes. Like that's beyond me. I'm just like, you want thing, I give you thing. Why are you no happy? And so, oh poop. That's a tuba. Oh, that's an awesome attack. Come on, tuba, die. Sorry, I'm distracted by this tuba. I really want to beat this run and gun level. But yeah, no, so I'm basically trying to woo all 3 of them at this point, because I just given up on general. And then, like, it turns out the one that, like, the weeds that I was giving her outside her house were, in fact, her favorite thing. Because she's just, basically, I think the idea the designers had is she's the simple, the one that's like you. She also works in a farm. She'll appreciate really anything you give her type thing. So I guess she was, like, the easy mark, if you think of it like that. And so, like, she eventually was just like, hey, do you want to get married? Well, no, actually it wasn't do you want to get married? If you know anything about the Harvest Moon games, which I'm sure you do because you said you liked Melody, Mineral, you like really one of the best Harvest Moon games, honestly. It just wasn't my first, so it's not my favorite. Oh, poop. Where was I going with this story? Oh, yeah. So my point being is... Sorry, I'm like trying to remember where I was with this. Oh yeah, so in Harvest Moon, if you don't know anything about the Harvest Moon series, you actually don't propose with rings in that world. You propose with blue flowers or blue feather. So like you get this like blue feather, and like you give it to the girl. And then, like, basically that's a proposal. So instead of getting a ring, it's a blue feather. And it just has the same context as a ring does in our society. So, like, but blue feathers are rare. Like, there's no blue feathered birds anywhere nearby. Like, it's not like you're just going to find a peacock on the farm in Japan somewhere. And so you actually have to go eat mushrooms with these like elf people. Like there's some weird stuff in the Harvest Moon games if you're not aware. They're very much similar to Stardew Valley and like the secret like objectives and stuff like that. Although Stardew Valley has a better message about like basically making society and like, you know, not just always going to Walmart because it's the easy thing to do, and the fun of hard work in general and stuff like that. So there are those elements to it. But you basically eat these mushrooms with these guys, and then they give you the blue feather, and then like you take the blue feather and you propose. And like she said yes, and like obviously as a kid, like that was really young, I was super ecstatic because like my time with, I mean, girls were icky at the time, and I didn't know what it meant to be in a committed relationship. And then like the game it cuts, like the game straight up cuts to when you have a kid together, and the kid doesn't just like I had a strategy, like I knew how to make money, and I just did it all the time. That's what I did. I did that. But my point being is that like I had no idea how to take care of a child, and the child would actually literally run away, and you would have to find it, and it was just like, it was so stressful. I'm like a kid. How am I supposed to know how to take care of another kid? I think this is why I grew up way too fast. I think I might have mentioned that already. But yeah, so I took care of the kid, and then if you don't know anything about It's a Wonderful Life, like I mean I lost the kid, and I did lose the game once or twice. Or I didn't sell enough goods and stuff like that. But the only way to truly beat the game is to die. And it was probably one of the very first games I ever completed. And that moment when I realized that like death was the end, and then I'd left all these, and like seeing all the loved ones you left behind, and like having your son like graciously take over the farm because he just loves his family, and he finds his own girl, although you don't really get to see that. But it was just one of those moments of like, I don't know, I think I grew, like it affected me as a Harvest Moon game. But my point being is Stardew Valley does a great job of capturing that Harvest Moon feel to it. A point that I was making like forever ago. But Stardew Valley basically recaptured the magic of Harvest Moon for me. And it was made by a fan, kind of like Undertale kind of captured like the feeling of Earthbound. Maybe not in full-heartedly, but like I'm thinking like Sims could use something like that. Yes, that entire story was just me to say that like, oh, I think Sims would benefit from a passionate fan redesigning it and making something similar. Because it's a genre people like and enjoy. It sells well, especially amongst girls. And I enjoy it. It's a good game series in general, and it could benefit from the Stardew Valley treatment, where just an independent developer that's really passionate about it is like, let's create a world game and focus on the parts people actually care about. Because I think that's the hard part for developers. They see the numbers and they're like, well, like, it's all about longevity. Like, oh, people tend to spend a lot of time doing this. And so it becomes more of a business model than a game design, really. Ah, poop. I meant to blow up on the boss, not on everything around the boss. Meep, meep, meep. I'm gonna pause like a chat real quick. Yeah, no, I agree. I actually grew up on a farm. Well, I didn't grow up on a farm. My grandfather, my papa, as I call him, he owned a miniature horse farm, which is just basically a normal farm. We had like other animals and stuff like that too, but I want to say it's not really a normal farm. It's kind of like a wealthy person's kind of farm, if that makes sense. Like, it still has all the aspects of a farm, but like most people don't just own and show miniature horses. So he would do shows and stuff like that with miniature horses. There'd still be cats, dogs. The horses would need fed. We'd have to go to the barn, wake up at the crack of dawn, and stuff like that. But oh poop! What is that doing? Oh poop! Oh poop! Oh poop! So I'm distracted. Like, I'm actually probably about to beat this boss, I reckon. Unless something goes south real fast. There we go. But, yeah, no, there's just one of those things where it's like, I was going on a tangent, I was talking about Harvest Moon, I was talking about a lot of things, and I was talking about, Oh yeah, growing up on a farm. Yeah, and so like I would hop the fence from my parents' house on non-school days at like 4:30 or so. I'd go, and my papa was pretty old at that time. I'd jump on our four-wheeler or something like that. And those are like the huge four-wheelers that are not made for kids. Like you have to be 16 to drive them, but everyone down here drives them anyways. And then I would go to the farm and, we'd open up the barn, we'd get bales of hay, toss them over our shoulders. Sometimes we'd have to climb up those huge light poles. Like you have basically light poles that are like super high to keep the farm lit up from like having like animals and stuff come up there. Like we used to have wolves that would like come in, or like maybe like a big cat. I don't know if we ever had to deal with a cougar directly, but there's always the threat of that, or a bobcat. So we eventually got like llamas, and llamas are loving to the people that own them, but gosh darn can they be scary when you bring people over. Like they will just charge and spit, and they're terrifying. Never mess with the llama. So the llamas would hang out with the goats, and then the goats would do all the lawn care for us, basically. And then I would do poop duty and just clean up the poop. And after we fed the horses, checked on the cat. We had this like orange cat, tabby cat, that was just like, it was definitely a barn cat. It did its job. It took care of the mice and stuff like that. But it was always just full of itself, as cats typically are. And then we just basically raise a farm together. That was a very long part of my life. I don't typically talk about it a lot because I'm not very country. I don't like to talk about my Oklahoma. Peru is heaven. One of the few places I haven't been is down far to South America. I've been to Europe, been to Africa, been to Alaska, Hawaii. I've been to every state except for probably some of the northeastern ones. And then, but I definitely want to go to South America. I definitely want to go to, poop. I'm gonna just retry. That just never happened. Okay, none of that happened. The only reason I want to go to Peru, to be fair though, is because of Up. That's like literally it for me. Like I was like, oh, I want to go see Kevin. I know Kevin's not real. You don't have to tell me. He's real in my heart. Okay, I will see Kevin, and I know Kevin's a girl. But they called him Kevin He for like ever. I'm so bad at this. I'm never gonna beat this boss. I don't know why I keep doing it. I need to quit after I beat one. Because if I jump back in, just because I'm going to end up talking some more, it doesn't mean... Oh, I need a break. I feel like I've been doing a boss run for like ever. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of just like trying to plow through Dark Souls. And I mean, I'm not comparing... There are comparisons to be made, but I don't like it when people make a direct comparison, considering that any game that's hard isn't necessarily Dark Souls. I just think it's any game that chooses not to have an arbitrary difficulty level and actually tries to be like difficult through design, and like having you be able to make, like I could buy extra hearts and that would probably make my experience easier. So it would be like this game's version of easy mode. But I mean, it inherently teaches you its controls. So I think it's kind of a disservice to not play this game at regular. Now I realize there is simple mode, but it's just not worth it. I wouldn't face any of these bosses on simple. You're welcome to, but you're missing out on the true experience of the game in general. Boop. Llamas are... I loved our two llamas we had. They were good. They took care of the job. They got the job done. They were wonderful creatures. The Emperor's New Groove was one of those animated movies that you're just kind of like, it comes out of left field, but oh my gosh, was it funny and like good-hearted and true. Like it very, very rarely do you get like a movie that breaks from the typical either heroes like triad or like your typical romance. Like, well, I forget what the test is, but a girl character has to actually be able to do girl things that do not involve just talking about a man or talking to another girl for... Like, I forget what the test is. There's like a Lipton test that you can do to be like, is this movie sexist? And you just have to use the test and it answers the question automatically. But my point being is, like, it's one of those stories that goes away from the norm. It isn't just another Disney princess movie. I mean, it doesn't even have a princess in it. The mom of the kids is just the best character. I don't know, they're all good characters. You busted up my... Grog! Crunk. I don't know why, but I always have a soft spot in my heart for dumb people. Like, dumb and caring. Like, those two things, man, they just get me going. Like, an Animal Farm, that horse, I was just like, oh my gosh, you have a special place in my heart. In this world of things that are just evil. Oh, I don't know why, but this dragon reminds me of one of my friends. Not necessarily like because they look or act like a dragon, just because they like dragons. In Pokemon, I think the dragon type class is probably one of the most like unusual classes, because like it doesn't have a lot of counters. It was very like unique to be added, and I think it's funny that they kind of had to add fairy class to like balance it out. I'm pretty sure it's called something else in Japanese. I think it is at least. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I died. Round 2, fight. Let's do this. Bring it. Me and you, Dragon. Dragano. He has those like hypno eyes. You are just a Pokemon, aren't you? Actually, I don't. He kind of reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on it. The tower in the background definitely reminds me of like EverQuest or something along those lines. I like it that it's just constantly spinning. Like right now, all I'm doing is focusing on the tower. It kind of reminds me of the tower from Shrek as well. That's another great show with a funny talking animal, like The Emperor's New Groove. That has a unique story that breaks the fairy tale mold. I guess breaking the mold's more kind of the norm nowadays. I mean, they did make 4 Shreks. Like, he's gotten to the point where he's a meme online. Ah, poop. Great balls of fire. So, I have this vacation home. Sorry, I said Great Balls of Fire. That's how I got on this tangent. But I have this vacation home in Branson that I like to go to sometimes. I usually have it for about a week. It's pretty nice. But I love going to Branson because they have like a bunch of stuff to do down there, like Silver City. It's more like an old person's vacation spot. Like I would never be like, let's go to Branson unless I didn't already have like the time stuff there. But I really enjoy Silver City, going through the Marvel Cave down there. They have this old school arcade called 1984, and instead of just like, you know, like those crappy ones like Payday and Chuck E. Cheese, like you pay to get in and then you pay to actually use the arcade machines. Like everyone you use takes quarters or coins, as it were. 1984 is different in the fact that they've actually removed the coin aspect of the games, and you can just literally, like, you pay one flat fee. It's like $8.99 or something like that. It's probably more now that I think about it. But you pay one flat fee, you get in this huge arcade of like classic games, and instead of having coin slots to enter coins or like having to do like a card system like they do at casinos and stuff like that, you literally just they've replaced it with a blue button essentially. And so all you have to do is push this blue button every now and then. Boop. And so by anytime you need to add more credits, you just press the blue button that's on the machine. And you can play it essentially forever. Ah, poop. Man, I think this might be the last boss for me tonight. I'm getting zonked. The final form kind of reminds me of the Hydra from Hercules. I really like the phases of this one. I think I'm actually using the wrong weapon. I have this one weapon that shoots backwards instead of forwards. I think it would be really useful for the back half of this boss fight. I don't think this will be the time I beat it, though. This doesn't look like it's going to happen. I like it how it's casting like Meteor and Tail Whip. It's definitely a Pokemon. There's no doubt about it. Well, I'm just going to retry. No hope now. And the castle, like I was saying, reminds me of Shrek, kind of like Sleeping Beauty. I don't know, it just, that classic like tower feel to it. Actually, it really reminds me of Madoka Magica. I don't know if you have Netflix, but it's totally worth watching if you like anime. I wish it had a subbed version. Netflix only does dubs, and then they only release them like once the dub's done, so you can't watch the show whenever it comes out in Japan, which is frustrating. So I don't know if I'd say support them 100%, but Madoka Magica is really cool. Like, I'm just a huge fan. But yeah, no, it has a castle, a tower that looks just like this, and a good portion of the story takes place in it. any world with magic and wizarding school and stuff like that, that's not, I mean, I love Harry Potter. It was my jam. Still is kind of my jam. Poop, I got too close to the fire. I got too close to the sun. I flew too high, Icarus. My wings have been clipped. Those little fireballs are just like so happy, and then they like smile and jump at me. Like, I'm not even mad. They kind of remind me of the jelly beans from Pajama Sam. Something about hunger. Oh, you should eat. Oh, Pajama Sam, eat your vegetables or whatever. I love it when. Oh, and what was great about the Pajama Sam series is it would focus on things that kids had to deal with as like being kids, but it would do it in an interesting way. Like, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark was very scary art style, but not like too overwhelmingly scary. And you had to really deal with a bunch of like uncertainty and stuff like that, and a lot of things that were intentionally made weird or perverse from what you're usually expected to do. And it was to really help you learn that like fear is this thing that can be faced. Like I said, good point and clicks have like a good story to them and stuff like that. Poop. This dragon is just doing me in. He's using tail whip on me. It's getting me down. Down and out. Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop. Oh man, I'm jamming to some Cuphead right now. Got that vibe in this music. Feeling it. I'm feeling it. I think at the bottom of that tower is like a gravestone. Like, I'm like, it's like a marching band. Like the very first fireball is just like sitting there like, oh, poop. I'm definitely dying. I'm not beating this boss. It's never going to happen. I'm just never going to beat it. I think it's just like, they give you so many clouds here, and then on this, oh no, I'm just going to fall and then die. No. No, I wasn't thinking. I used my ult just to get... They totally remind me of the... I'm gonna exit to map. I'm not giving up. I'm not a quitter. This will not be my last hurrah. I'll be pulling out an item. When you can't beat them, as they say, or get good. Get good is a classic one that I used to hear all the time. I think I didn't leave any story threads unfinished there. I talked about the farm, I talked about Harvest Moon, talked about how I think the Sims could use the Harvest Moon treatment, or the Stardew Valley treatment, I guess is really the thing. I think they're adding a co-op mode to Stardew Valley. I might actually get the game if that's the case. I have 1 or 2 people that I would love to play that game with. Honestly, I just wish more people like that I hang out with played games, like single player games, and just liked to talk about them in general. I feel like whenever I'm playing with like Jared and the rest of this Discord, I'm often like, oh man, I don't know, Bowtie's probably, we have very similar taste, me and Bowtie. Poop, 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 poop. Tomorrow I will not be on. I'm gonna probably try my best to stream every Thursday, but tomorrow I will be drinking, but it's because I'm going to a work party. I don't talk about work obviously on stream, but it's a big gala. I already got the pocket square and a vest ordered. I will be drinking. I'll probably be on later tonight. It's a Friday, so if you guys are staying up to like midnight, unless I end up getting lucky or something like that, then I'll definitely be here. Not that I would get lucky with anyone from work, but like just because like it's a work party, but other people were invited as well. I got this awesome Christmas vest coming in. I need to focus on the game. Got this awesome Christmas vest coming in. I also got this awesome like peppermint bow tie. Oh man, I'm gonna snazz the heck up. And by lucky, I don't mean like lucky as in like, never mind. I am most definitely still a virgin. But I meant lucky as in like, you know, I stay up late, like super late. I end up drinking. We end up spending a long time by the bonfire. You know, romance. The real stuff that you want to be lucky about. I don't know. I'm the kind of person that like, after I drink, I go on crazy adventures. Like, I think it was last week. It was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I called up one of my friends, John, out of the blue, and I was like, hey, by the way, John, I think it's time for another adventure. And he was like, oh no. So we picked a random restaurant. It was in like a really bad part of town, but it was really well rated. Totally worth going to, I might add. We did not get mugged like he said we would. I've been mugged twice. Those are stories for other day. So he always makes fun of that I have an abnormal amount of muggings that have taken place with me. But you can't blame someone that likes to go places. Like, if he got out more, he would get mugged more. That's all I'm saying. It's a great argument for getting outside, am I right? But we went to this restaurant, went to the dive. They had the most amazing strawberry banana cake, like world famous strawberry banana cake, worthy. Poop, 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 poop. If you could not hit me, that would be great. That'd be just fantastic. Oh my gosh. Dragon, I think you're going to be tomorrow's challenge. 'Cause I am poopity doopity doopity, and it's almost my bedtime. I have work tomorrow, and the executives are in town, and it's just so overwhelming right now. Like, I don't even know how I'm so content and just satisfied with life in general, despite how crazy my job is. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. It's not physically draining by any stretch of the imagination. I worked at Walmart for 2 years, and I mean, I actually had heart attacks working that job. So, I mean, like, nothing's like as physically draining as that time period where I was working 3 jobs. But, like, there's a different kind of stress. Like, I'm using a lot more brain power and stuff like that, which is why I think it's a lot easier for me to just stream, like, be a stream of consciousness these days. Because at work, I don't talk. I'm usually in, like, a box where we don't have time to talk. I think this might be the time I defeat the boss. We'll see. I don't want to get too optimistic. Oh, that one fireball is just... no, like, they're all default towards the middle, and the middle is, like, literally the only place I don't want to be right now. No, I jumped into it. Lame. No, I did it again. Son of a biscuit. I tried to use my ult to finish it off and then just fell into my own death again. That's frustrating. I've done that enough times when I was that close to beating the boss that I'm just going to call it. Because my goal for tonight was to beat the first area. My goal for tomorrow will be to finish the second area. Well, not tomorrow. My goal for next Thursday, because I will be streaming every Thursday. That's a promise. And then I'll just be joining in on Jared's stream on other days. I don't need to stream on the weekend. That's too much work for me. Hopefully everyone had a good time tonight. I know I did. Hopefully all these VODs saved. I know no one actually watches these, but like, they're fun. I might switch them over to my YouTube channel. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to end stream. I'm probably going to hang out in the Discord for a bit before I go though. So good night. Good luck. May your dreams take you softly into the morning dew. Farewell.